support for transgender adults. We have some ways that you can donate. We've got our website, which is stlouismetrotrans.com. You hit or click on the Donate Now button. You can text us. Are we on a different camera? Okay. You can text us at 314-287-5383. You can even call if you need to call. And we've got our Facebook Metro Trans Umbrella Group page, and you just click. What do you click? Donate. Right? Okay. So, lots of ways to be engaged. The proceeds are going to go to build capacity for the Metro Trans Umbrella Group. We want to make sure that we replenish our name change fund. We want to make sure that anybody who needs social emotional support can get it in the form of bus vouchers. And I just want to hold space. One of the ways that we're also fundraising is you can become a monthly donor for MTUG. Gonna say $80 a month is a lot of money to some humans and not very much to others, but $80 a month buys you a Metro bus pass that gives you freedom in this city. You can come to our social emotional support groups, you can get to doctor's appointments, you can be employed. So you can donate now and give us money right now, or you can become a sustaining monthly donor to help our organization grow. We serve over 125 adults in our 6 support groups every month. And so we need your support.
Yes. And you get that monthly donation, you get that ACH debited right out of your account every month. You don't have to think about it.
That's right. And y'all, it is almost the end of the year. So any of our humans who need maybe a gigantic tax write-off, MTUG, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to transition over to interviewing Reverend Wes from the MCC Church. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to mosey on over there. Yeah, here we go. Hello.
Hi, Sayer.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's see. Here comes our camera human. All right. So I know you. Let everybody know who you are.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Pastor Wes Mullins. I serve as the senior pastor of the Metropolitan Community Church of Greater St. Louis, which is in Soulard.
Right on.
And the church, 2018 is our 45th anniversary year.
Wow.
So been around for a long time, the first open and affirming church in the city. And I've been there for 2018 is also my 5th anniversary year.
All
so
right.
I'm excited to be here 5 years now. Oh,
Little technical. It's on. I see a red light,
Yeah,
but
it's on.
not getting sound.
this is Aaron.
This is live broadcasting. We've got another
you wanna trade with
pack.
that one?
It's so exciting.
Yeah, just switching out.
That's perfect, yes. We'll just take a quick moment here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is that one working? Okay.
Okay, so your 5th anniversary, 45 years, MCC
In St. Louis.
in
yeah.
St. Louis. And so we'll talk about, I know that our movement, I'm going to say the LGBTQIA movement has evolved and changed so much. How has MCC, specifically St. Louis, risen to that?
Yeah, that's really an interesting part of our story to sort of even just see how the LGBTQ movement has changed over all that time. I mean, you think about the fact 45 years ago, there was no HIV. The whole world was different in our movement. So MCC, even more than just in St. Louis, but nationally and internationally, really has a trajectory that follows a lot of those events that have occurred. Yeah. The 80s were a very difficult period in the life of our denomination where we had been growing, and then all of a sudden we were dying.
Yeah.
But I think that, focused on today and the work you're doing today with MTUG and our partnership with you and the importance of trans issues at this point, I think that's something where MCC is really trying to again push the rest of Christendom to move forward. I don't think that all the open and affirming churches that are out there would be where they are today if it weren't for MCC.
Sure.
Helping people understand how to get there. And, that's another important area for us now when it comes to trans people and recognizing that they are made in the image of God, that all of us are made in the image of God. And I believe that our understanding of God is limited if we limit any type of person, right? That if all of humanity is made in the image of God, then the best way that we have to see God is to see all of the diversity of humanity, right? And so any group that we push to the side, we're actually hurting our own spirituality and damaging our ability to see God clearly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's so let's say a human is seeking that sort of community. What could they expect at your church?
Well, one of the things that we say is MCC is where everyone belongs. So we have some folks who even come to our church, even though they have other places that they sometimes worship, but they'll say things to us like, I come every now and again when I need more gay in my life, or when I need more hugs, because this congregation loves me better than any place I've ever been. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just the welcoming atmosphere, which I love that is sets people on their heels a bit, because of the fact that unfortunately church has not typically been a place where we experience love. And so I think that in some ways MCC being a place that overflows with love is exactly what all of us need to be a corrective to what the church has done typically in the past. So
That's lovely. That's lovely, and I think that
I hope you've experienced that when you've been
I
there.
have. I've enjoyed every experience that I've had, and I've seen you all open your doors for us when there were no other doors open, specifically when we were bearing our own and just holding space for Tidor, and having us meet there on different occasions when we needed to dig deep and have a comfortable, loving space to do some of our own work. And you've provided that hospitality in a loving way, just in a loving way.
Yeah.
Open the doors, come on in.
Right. No attempt to proselytize.
Never.
Yeah,
Which,
exactly.
yeah.
That's one of our values, is we're not here to try to change people.
Yeah.
We say every Sunday actually that you are exactly where you need to be. The church should not be here to try to conform you into some sort of cookie cutter version of a human.
Right.
It should celebrate who you are. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your church and your congregation. And one of the ways that we're sort of honoring some of the humans who are liberators and healers in our community is we commissioned this print from a transmasculine human in our community named Bronwyn, and we're giving these to some of our healers and our liberators. And so I want you to have this from us.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are a healer and a liberator in our movement.
It's beautiful, and
Yes.
that means a lot. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, you mean a lot to us and our community. And it looks like your choir might be fixing to go. Maybe you
I
could
think they
introduce
are.
the choir, huh? So,
Before I introduce them,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me give you this,
Oh.
which is some money from us.
Money
because
from-
we want to support you all.
Right
So
on.
thank you for all you
Thank you.
do. We really appreciate your work in the community. You as an individual and you as MTUG. So
Right on.
thank you for that.
thank you.
And I want to encourage everybody at home to support you as well. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
we're
getting the
stretched.
sign that we're going to cut for just a second to reset our Facebook feed, and then we're going to come back with the MCC choir. What do you say about the MCC choir?
So this choir is amazing. They're one of the premier choirs in all of the Metropolitan Community Church's denomination. They've won several competitions. Our Christmas concert is next weekend, so I encourage you to come and hang out for a great free concert next weekend on Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. And the 3 songs they're about to do are all from that concert.
Right on.
Yeah.
So thank you. So we're just going to take 60 seconds off the air, and we'll be right back with the MCC choir.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank
Thanks.
you. Okay, so we're back on. Well, welcome back to the MTUG Trans Telethon. Here we go. What time is it?
It is 2:30.
2:30. We have an
Alex?
excited Alex, which means something on our tally
What's
board.
it mean?
We hit 2,000!
Okay.
$2,000. Okay.
All right, we're at
No
2,000.
problem. All right.
Yes, that's wonderful.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
$2,000, y'all.
Yes.
So, building power, supporting transgender adults in the metro area. Let's give a shout out to, some of our sponsors.
Yes.
Because all of this is being made possible.
Without them, we have none of this.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And so, Coffee Cartel,
Yay, Coffee Cartel.
hooking it up.
Yes.
Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region and Southwest Missouri.
Give it up for Planned Parenthood.
We've got Left Bank Books on board with us.
Yes, let's make books, yes.
We've got Dick Blick in the house.
Yes,
Literally
Dick!
over here. Come on,
Look at
y'all.
those.
Laura Simone of the Third Degree Glass Factory. Pride St. Louis right here.
Give it up for Pride St. Louis. Yes.
Bravo
I got
Circus.
the
I'm
spirit
looking
of
at you because I
pride.
want you to come over here for a second, will you? Yes.
Come with Larissa.
The Justice Fleet, the love of the Justice Fleet. This human right here, y'all. Here, come center stage.
Center. Went to center
Oh
you.
my gosh. This is Larissa.
Yes.
They are our technological lead slash amazing slash we're not worthy. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Pulling all this
Yes.
off. The amazingness that is behind the scenes, y'all. We'll take pictures, we'll show you. This human.
It's a team effort. I got Mira, I've got Janie on the cameras.
Yes.
I wouldn't have done it without them all.
Absolutely, but none of that your leadership is making this happen. And we appreciate you and we see you and thank you so much for giving your gifts.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is a team effort, y'all, because really I came to the idea
Yes.
and the crew came together and that's why it's happening. And that is that's MTUG, right? That's how we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
We got the idea, we got the love, we give it back. We make things happen. This is a telethon, which means we are raising money. These are the ways. You want to tell us how to raise some money?
So first off, you can donate. Go to sclmetrotrans.com and click the donate link to get onto the Act Blue site. You can also call or text us. We prefer texting, 314-287-5383, and we'll take your pledge through there. You can also go on the Facebook link, Metro Trans Umbrella Group, and then click the donate on there.
So these are ways you can donate.
Yep, all right. So we're going to take just a quick little 60-second break.
Just take a little break.
And we're going to come back and we're going to do some fabulous interviews.
And we got some interviews coming up. It's
Yep,
going to be
that's
great.
right. Mr. Darren Sliman's in the house.
D Slice in the house! D Slice in the house!
All right, so we'll see y'all in just a minute.
Cool.
Hello, welcome back after a little brief break. We're in our interview corner, and I'm here to interview Jamie.
Hi, how's it going?
And there's a couple of reasons that I wanted to engage this particular human. One of the ways is sort of talking about how FemSpec has impacted her life.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I actually heard about FemSpec through my college, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Okay.
Yeah, my therapist there actually recommended that I check out MTUG and FemSpec at St. Louis Pride, and that's kind of how I found.
Sure. And so how was it your first visit at FemSpec?
I was really scared. Like a lot of people whose first time it is, showing up.
Sure.
I was totally in the closet still, and I had thrown together something that I had managed to buy secretly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was affirming.
It was affirming.
Yeah.
And I went, and everybody was so supportive. They showed me where to buy clothes. They basically helped develop my confidence to actually take one foot and put it out of my car and walk into the store.
Wow.
For the first time. So.
Yeah. So a real family, a sisterhood of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly would not have transitioned, I don't think, without this group.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so is it something that you still, you make time for? Do you come to the meetings frequently or?
Yeah, every once in a while, every few weeks, I'll just kind of skip out because of life, you know.
Sure.
But I've definitely reached a point, thanks to FemSpec and MTUG, to where I'm just doing my thing. I go to the store, I do everything that any other human would normally do without
Sure.
being afraid.
That trans agenda, living our life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I figured out how to change my name, my social security card,
That's great.
everything through this group.
Oh yeah, that's great. And so I'm sure that there might be a human or two out there that are maybe wanting the social emotional support that FemSpec can provide, but they're scared or they're nervous. Or so, do you have advice? Do you have loving words?
Oh boy.
No.
You're not alone, because I thought I was alone for the longest time. And I just recommend finding community, because having that love and support is extremely necessary. I mean, I lost most of my family coming out, so I think it's very important to have, like you said at the beginning of the telethon, it's important to have family and stability, people to kind of be there for you when you're down.
For sure, to love on you and
Yeah.
hold up that mirror of worth and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then part two. So you're behind the scenes with us in the tech aspect. Talk to us about what you do, because I think you're part of a pretty exciting local podcast as well.
Oh yeah, J for Gender.
Yeah.
Yes. Jackie and Jesse and Janie, we all started this podcast.
Yeah, Jackie, that's fun. J for Gender. All
J
the
for
J's.
Gender.
Yes,
We're all J's.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so you can look us up on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Yeah, just check us out. I mean, with J for Gender, we really envision sort of a podcast by trans women for trans women.
Yeah.
But we also want to try and be intersectional, so invite people who are not just trans, but maybe other parts of the LGBT spectrum to kind of give their input on, how they came across and figured out their sexuality. Because I know a lot of trans people have to figure out their sexuality sometimes again, and it's
For
just,
sure.
yeah, I think it's super relatable for a lot of different people in the community, and I think that you should tune in.
Yeah. And so how do folks do that? Tell me one more time.
All right, you can check us out on Facebook, J for Gender. J, the literal letter J, and then for, and spell gender with a J in the beginning instead of the G. And you can find us on YouTube as well as Facebook. So
Right on. So
awesome.
Yeah. So I appreciate you talking and
Yeah.
telling us about some of the things and your testimonial to the FemSpec, because that's
Yeah.
the heartbeat of our organization, which is the social emotional support.
That's actually, in my opinion, probably the most important aspect of what that group does.
For sure.
So.
Well, right on. I think we're going to mosey on over and check in with our art display for a minute and transition into another interview after this. I really appreciate your time.
Awesome.
Thank you. And thank you for
Awesome.
volunteering.
No problem.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it.
And come on down, y'all, because we
Yeah.
have a live studio audience. Very exciting. So
Yep.
we'd love to have you. So we're going to take a quick transitional break so I can get on over to the art.
Awesome.
Yes. That
Yes.
was a lovely interview.
That
The
was
testimonials, right?
Yes, it's the testimonials.
I mean, I think, the Jerry Lewis Telethon is what I thought about in creating this thing. And I remember the moving testimonials of some of the humans that the work that the Telethon was working towards would do. And I remember that just really resonating with me. And I think it's so important to hear from our folks that are touched by the Metro Trans umbrella group.
Yes, that's very important because as I go out and about in the community, it's the personal narratives that tug at people's heartstrings and get people to donate and they can see what a wonderful impact that MTUG does and how the services and the people. And we do have a couple of counselors in the house and therapists in the house. If there's anyone that's having a problem, they can call in if they want.
All right.
Because,
Well, support.
we're here to celebrate and support, but also there's some people that this may be touching.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, I need someone to talk to. Please call in because, we're here to celebrate and uplift and we want to help people too out there. So, we're okay. We're good. We're having a good time.
For sure.
Is it time to check in on
Let's check in on the art.
Okay, go check in on the
all
art.
right. Is there a camera that'll be over in this general direction? Where should I stand? How's the artwork going, folks? Hi. How's it feeling? Hello. It's lovely.
If we keep up at this pace, we're going to be done way before 6 p.m.
Psh, wow. All right. Right on. Well, we're loving it. And again, everybody is welcome to come on down and contribute to this because it's engaging the whole community.
And we also want to make note that each of these birds can be personalized. If someone wants to memorialize someone that they've lost,
Right on. That's
we have
lovely.
paint markers. You can write their name or something that represents them. So
Right on. So the birds can be memorialized. That's lovely. Another way to pay tribute and love on our folks. All right. So I'm going to move on over to interview Darren Slyman. Yep. Okay.
I moved my pillow under my butt so I could.
Okay. Welcome back. Just trying to work out all our, technical issues. This is a pretty amazing, live event, y'all. So just bear with us. It's my pleasure to have Mr. Darren Slyman in the house, talking to him about his role in a media way, but just in a way of an ally who's used their privilege and their power to lift up transgender narrative and transgender voices for many years.
Many years.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you so much. This is wonderful that you guys are doing this. First of all, you know I personally love MTUG a lot.
Yes.
And what a creative, brilliant concept to do this live feed telethon live on Facebook. So bravo for
Right on.
that conception. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
Super fun and nerve-wracking and fun.
Yeah.
So, well, first of all, tell us what you're doing now. I think folks know you from all over, but what are you doing right now?
Right now, currently, I just launched a new media company called Max.
Okay.
The overall brand for that is Maximize St. Louis. So in reality, it's really about maximizing your life in St. Louis.
Okay.
It really caters more towards the 50 and below,
Okay.
especially the millennial generation. We do really, what I have found in my market research study is, 50 and below really want experiences more so than, oh, I want a Rolex watch and a lake house and a, BMW. That's really not what they want today. They want experiences. They want to go out and do things, not just party. They want to get involved. That's something I've found miraculous. They want to get involved in nonprofits. They want to get involved in organizations. They want to get involved with peer group situations, which I think is brilliant. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. It's a new platform for us in my media company that we did. I mean, as you well know, I had Vital Voice for 10 years.
Yes.
I loved doing that.
Yes.
That was an amazing experience and decade for me. When I first took over, it was a newspaper at the time.
Yes.
And
right.
on its last dying leg.
Yes.
And one thing I did when I first took over for Vital Voice was I said, I really want to provide something for the LGBT community that is going to uplift them
Yeah.
and showcase them in a different way than had ever been done before.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And I was really proud. I was proud of the work we did for a decade.
For
I
sure.
was proud of the giving back we were able to do.
Yes.
And the advancements we were able to help make in our community as a whole society. Being able to have that outlet with Vital Voice to explain to everyone else what is the LGBTQIA
Yes.
community.
Yeah.
There were so many people that didn't really know. I mean, they had ideas. And at that time period, mass media only showcased drag queens or guys in assless chaps.
Right.
And I feel very proud of the work that I was able to complete in a decade where when we first started, we as a community had no rights whatsoever.
Yeah.
And by the time I finished a decade, we actually had a few.
Yes.
And that's a huge achievement,
Yes.
not just for me and not just for Vital Voice, but for our community as a whole.
Yeah.
But the one thing I found during that 10-year process was really focused on the gay and lesbian community the most, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But, I have been involved with the trans community since like the late 80s, early 90s. I have a very, very close friend who has transitioned twice, actually. In the early 90s, she started her transition and got to a certain point, kind of got scared, which I think can be completely natural for anyone.
For sure.
Went back, got off all the hormones, went back to be, transitioned back to becoming a boy, and was a boy for about 10, 15 years.
Wow.
And you know what, all of us as friends for him at the time, we were like, God, you're the pissiest little gay I've ever seen. He's just so damn unhappy. So we really kind of helped him at that time format the ideology of like, maybe you were happier in your transition.
Yeah.
So fast forward 10 to 15 years, he started transitioning again.
Yeah.
Now she has become one of our biggest national faces
Yes.
for the trans community.
Yep.
And that is Van Barnes. I've known Van since college, and I worship and adore her. Everything she does.
She's going to be on tomorrow.
Yes,
I
I'm so glad
know.
you got her
Yes,
in for
yes,
that.
yes,
It's
yay.
so hard because she's
Yeah.
always bopping
She's
around.
busy, but
She's
we're
either in the
lucky-
woods,
Right.
or she's in Los Angeles.
Yes, so we're lucky to have
You
her
know?
tomorrow. Yes.
So I had already had that trans experience with a very, very close person for 20 years.
Yeah.
Before I even got involved with Vital Voice.
Yeah.
And even our wonderful own Dieta Pepsi, I have a beautiful story about her. She worked for me at Vital Voice at the time.
Yeah.
And was hitting a certain age bracket at the time, and didn't really have the outreach for medical checkups and things like that. So I arranged with a fellow friend of mine who's a doctor, physician, actually an OGBYN. And I said, can you just do me a hot favor and do a quick physical on Dieta?
Yeah.
And so Leon and I went to this appointment, and that was actually the start of Leon's exploration into intersex.
Wow. Yeah.
So, on 2 occasions in just my short 45 years on this planet, I've been able to actually help 2 people really become, both medically, physically, mentally, the full whole self for them.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that is important to me, more so than anything I've really done in media. I'm like,
Sure.
I can razz and bataz and bedazzle everything. But having that actual personal experience with somebody really, really makes your heart swell.
For sure.
And all the work MTUG does, it just blows my mind. I mean, I've reached out to you numerous occasions.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have mentioned yet or not, but like donating not just money, but also items and products for
Yes.
people that don't have things.
Yes.
You know, one day I was cleaning up my house and I was like, I have all this bedding, and I have all
Right.
these dishes, and I
Yes.
have these things that I don't personally use anymore. The older I get in life, the less I actually want in my life.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I reached out to you and I was like, hey, you were so gracious and so kind, and you know, you literally were like, I actually know somebody who's perfect that needs these items.
Yes. Yep.
And that
she
is
delighted in having your fabulous hand-me-downs. Yes.
I call them recycle up.
Recycle Up is lovely. And you know, the role that you've played in the Metro Trans Umbrella Group is you gave us visibility when there was no one else giving us visibility.
Yes.
You centered trans narrative, you centered the Metro Trans Umbrella Group in not only pictures and in articles, but in raising money for us and centering us for an entire year.
Yes.
And so we are grateful to that. I know that your work through Vital Voice and your advocacy as a trans liberator helped propel our organization forward.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean it, and I just appreciate it. You know.
Well, you know, especially the time that I was working directly with you guys for a year solid, and helping to raise funds and outreach and visibility. That time point, we had passed marriage equality.
Yes.
And my personal belief at that time is not that, okay, the rest of the alphabet's good and I need to do this, but I feel like everyone's celebrating this, but we're not quite done yet.
Right.
We have our trans brothers and sisters that, hello, we got to bring you along. Come on.
Right.
Come along. And even though there was, you know, questions amongst the community as a whole, is the trans community a part of our community or not? I don't really care, truthfully. The truth of the matter is every single human on this planet should have a universal right to express and feel who they want to be at any time. The interesting thing is I've found as I've grown older in life, is I kind of look at life in chapters.
Yeah.
You know, so you have a chapter, and I feel like even with the trans community, you have the chapter of exploration, then the chapter of transitioning,
Yeah.
then you have the chapter of settling into who you are,
Yeah.
and then you have the chapter of how can I help?
Yeah. Right on.
And that's where we want you all to help.
There we go. Perfect.
You know, we want you to come in and donate money to MTUG. It's really important. You know, the trans community has really been very helpful to me personally, but really it's about helping each other as a whole. And in this political climate we live in, Lord, do we need to help each other more than ever?
Right. It's true. It's totally true. And I appreciate you coming and sharing and being part of our liberation movement. And we are holding up a few of our healers and our liberators and our humans who have used their power and privilege to lift up the trans community. And we had this piece of art commissioned from a trans masculine artist named Brownwin, who's actually having his show tonight. And it says, your support is vital for our liberation. And it's from the Metro Trans Umbrella Group. And I want you to have that, Darren. And I want you to have my gratitude.
Thank you.
On behalf of, you know, myself and on the Metro Trans Umbrella Group, and giving us that visibility platform and helping make our organization take a front seat. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
damn, look what you did to me.
Thank you, Darren. All right. All right, y'all. I think we're going to transition and cut to transition. We're going to transition and talk about a few more things, but thank you. We'll be right back.